Today, we're going to run through the entire Pixar theory in under 5 minutes. We have 30 different films to add into one giant timeline, and somehow have to make it in a video that is going to be under 5 minutes. Let's get into it. The theory is split into two strands, the chronological timeline and how the timeline actually works. Now, the biggest thing is human memory powers this universe, like we see in the memory orbs in Inside Out, and this is all powered by a person's soul, which we know takes place outside of the chronological timeline. And this is very important because it's what brings life to objects that wouldn't normally come to life, like the toys in Toy Story, and it's why they are so worried about being forgotten, because if they are, they won't come to life. Or how in the land of the dead in Coco, people die once the last memory of them in the living has disappeared. For the timeline, the first film is Elemental, which shows elements coming together, forming chemical reactions to create life. Next is The Good Dinosaur, where we see animals and humans gaining intelligence. Then Ancient Scotland with Brave, where we are introduced to magic and humans running the world. We then skip to the 1950s and 60s, where humans and magic has formed superheroes in the Incredibles series. To go against the supers, Syndrome introduces AI and technology, and on the other side of the world, we have the story of Luca. Then we have the modern day set films of the Toy Stories, with Lightyear being a film inside the Toy Story universe in itself, Turning Red, Finding Nemo / Dory, Ratatouille, Up, Inside Out, Coco and Soul. Now here is where we see the peak of humanity, but also see animals developing that aren't under human control, like rats and fish. And technology is now being integrated into life, like Doug's collar in Up. Speaking of Up, we are also introduced to By and Large. Humans trash the planet, and By and Large uses AI to create the axioms to let the humans leave Earth. Now, one of the axioms crash lands onto another planet with magic and creates the Onward world, which is why we see Onward uses such similar to human technology, but with magic. Now, whilst the Earth is empty for 700 years, cars take over the planet, and only small animals like bugs in A Bug's Life or sea creatures remain. The cars are powered by the human memory of their previous owners, which is why they seem to have a history and why new cars keep coming up, like in Cars 3, but also why they have human landmarks like we see on the Europe tour. Now, we also begin to see the effect of having no humans, because by Cars 2 there is an energy crisis, and that's because the humans aren't there giving life to the objects, and so eventually the cars die out. But we see the humans return at the end of WALL-E, and we see the human energy instantly brings plant life back to the planet. The sea monsters from Luca are still around and now have come out of the water. They then procreate and all turn into monsters in Monsters, Inc. But since there is no humans, there is once again an energy crisis. And so the monsters create time-traveling doors to return back when the humans were around, and the timeline moves in parallel with each other. Now, we see from Boo's room, they are travelling back to the 50s with the Jessie doll in her room, and have to change to laughter because at that point in the timeline, the supers were becoming extinct, and so the dominant emotion was joy. Now, banished monsters are also sent back in time, like the Abominable Snowman, and a sea monster is banished to Italy and procreates with a human to create the sea monsters from Luca in the first place. And then, of course, we have Boo, who just ties everything together. Boo wants to find Sully, so she uses the time-travelling doors along with magic we see from Turning Red, as it's likely she is potentially related to Abby from Turning Red, so then would have access to that magic. She then ends up travelling to ancient Scotland and becomes the witch from Brave. Now, we know the witch is Boo because she is obsessed with bears, which is used to represent Sully. She uses the door technology from the Scarefloor. She has carvings of things from the future, like the Pizza Planet truck, and she even has a carving of Sully. And she returns to this time so that she can ensure that everything in this timeline will happen, so that the monsters will always be created, so she will always meet Sully, creating an endless time loop. If you did enjoy this video, make sure that you smash that like button down below and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And guys, let me know down below in the comments, what is your favourite part of the Pixar theory, and did we miss anything in this 5-minute video? Let me know your thoughts down there, and as always, we've been here on Gated Theories. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.